everybody, one more time to the National Accordion Association and the NAAC live stream interview short series that we're doing here today. My name is Gabriel Rodriguez, and I have today for my guest Joe Natoli. And Joe Natoli has so many things going on with the accordion, and so I think this is really important to share them all with you. But Joe, can you first tell us a little about kind of your background? I mean, I'm familiar with your history as a competition winner, as a writer, as a Roland guy, and I think there's so much to know about you, really. You're kind of a little bit you're a little bit like humble about the whole thing, but you have a lot of stuff going on, and you have been for a long time. Competition winner as a kid. Can you talk about like growing up a little bit and playing accordion and what that was like?
Yep. So I started accordion at 7 because I was at my father's knee as he was practicing and learning, and I just loved it so much I decided I needed to get involved too. So I started taking lessons at 7 and got very involved in, like you said, the competitions with the NAA, and eventually won the 1972 United States Championship, and then got runner-up in the Coupe Mondial in 1972. So, first runner-up. So,
how many people were competing with you at that time?
Well, the AAA at that time, there were 60 competitors. There were so many competitors they had to divide it up into 4 rooms, and then that condensed down to a semi-final group, and then that condensed down to a finalist group.
A little different than when I competed, you know, in 2010 when there was me. Joe was one of my judges for that competition. If you can even call it a competition, but it was those are a fun time.
But nevertheless, even though you were the only one in that particular competition, I recognize your musicianship right away.
Thanks, Joe. That's really nice of you.
And you've continued to grow, and I'm always really impressed. So
thanks, Joe.
Keep up the great work.
So you did the acoustic thing for a while, and when did you start getting into digital? Like digital music, digital accordions? I mean,
well, Roland wasn't my first intro into digital music. In 1983, I was one of the first MIDI adopters, and I had my own band that was completely MIDI organized. So what I would do is, back in the days of the Commodore 64 computer, I had 64K running my whole show when I was doing clubs and weddings and parties. And I would record, current hits and top 40, etc., big band stuff into the computer, the parts that I couldn't play live. So I'd record the bass, I'd record the drums, I'd record maybe some brass hits, that kind of stuff. And then I would play that back as I was playing live, and then we had a lead singer, and then I did some backup singing. So we sounded like 5 to 15 people. I've been doing that for over 30 years. So when the Roland came along, it was just a natural transition for me and I had wished that the Roland had existed back when I was doing that, because I could have done all that on a virtual accordion instead of on horizontal keyboards.
Oh, so you were playing...
I was playing synthesizers and workstations back then.
Cool.
So it's just a natural transition to the Roland and doing everything that I do with that. So.
Excellent. And you know, a lot of people out there play the Roland, and I think there are some who do it really well and some who do it really, really well, and I always say that, Joe, you're one of those guys who I'm like, you know,
thank you.
My personal thing is I like the acoustic accordion, but I'm always very, very impressed and with your arranging, with your musical knowledge. You know, you're a fantastic musician, and it's really great to see. So we talked about the Roland thing.
Well, let's expand on that just for a second.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So, you know, since I couldn't study accordion really anywhere in the United States, I think the only place that was available to study in 1972 was with Joanne Summers in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But I had met Joe Masarolo at the Coupe Mondial, and as a result of us striking up a friendship at the Coupe, etc., I then became the first free bass accordion artist at University of Toronto. So that program has blossomed ever since, as you can see, with Michael Bridge being there and others. Alexander Sebastian was there as well.
Cool.
So that's kind of how I progressed in that department. And then I also studied composition, orchestration, electronic music, etc. there. So all of this was a natural transition to the Roland. But I approached the Roland, in fact I just gave a workshop an hour ago on orchestration. And I try to approach the Roland as if I am composing and or orchestrating for a full orchestra, or accordion with orchestra, or something to that effect. So now, I just wanted to put that part in there just so you can understand where my approach comes from with the instrument.
Sure, absolutely. And I think that even with arranging for acoustic accordion, that kind of mentality I think is really valuable, because we have an instrument that has so many different sort of tones and on octaves that when whether it's for yourself as a solo thing or with a duo, that you're not just thinking of, I mean, the accordion is the accordion, but it has the capability to sort of, not to mimic, but to allude to several different types of instruments.
Oh, when you think back of the arrangements of Charlie Mignani and Gallerini, they very much approached the accordion in an orchestral fashion. If you look at the way Mignani arranged Carnival of Venice, I mean, really look at the way he arranged that, and even maybe try to play through it. There are accordion sections, and then there are tutti orchestra sections. Gallerini did the same thing, and very often those guys would perform arias from operas, right, and operettas. So they were thinking orchestrally, even though they had an accordion in their hands, they were thinking of it as an orchestra at times.
So who were some of your I mean, like accordion heroes, or some people that kind of, not even necessarily accordion heroes, musical heroes, people that were, I think, fueling to some degree like your interest in digital music? I mean, who were you hearing that was like really lighting you up, or was it just the concept of being able to make this stuff happen on a computer?
Well, again, there's really nobody in accordion that lit the fire for me for digital, because I had already been in it since 1983. But in terms of who my accordion heroes are in that department, obviously Eddie Montero. I can't say enough good things about Eddie.
Bummer he couldn't make it.
Yeah, Eddie, we wish you were here. Realize you got snowed in, but it would have been nice to have you here.
I heard that.
Corey, you guys are all great, and you spell out the future for our instrument, so that's wonderful. But I look back at people like Charlie Mignani, my own teacher, Mickey Basilio, a wonderful teacher, and really understood all these things that we're talking about. And actually, he was still alive while I was transitioning to starting to play the Roland, and he was really into it. He really thought it was great. Tito Guidotti, one of my favorites. Tito from out west was just such an amazing musician, and all of his arrangements were, and his reharmonizations of jazz standards, etc., were just so beautiful. Another one of my heroes. Did I already say Charlie? I think Charlie Mignani as well. Yeah. Lots of great people. Today's world, I can't say enough good things about Ludovic Beer as well. Just an incredible player, so tasty and so crafty. I'm going to leave somebody out, but all in all, I'm really happy to see people like you, Corey, Ludovic, and others that are in your age bracket that are taking us into the future, because that's what we need.
Well,
and Jamie.
That's certainly very wonderful to hear, and it is a great time. It's a great time learning more about this stuff. I mean, coming into this world a little bit later, I'm learning a lot all the time about all these fun players and ways to play the instrument, and thinking about what the future of the instrument's going to be. That's part of sort of the NAAC, is to try to see just how inclusive we can be, how we can make this sort of future of the accordion like brighter and bigger and more diverse. Right. So, and kind of in conjunction or with that is something that you're doing too, talking about the future of the accordion. And at this festival, I talked to Joe before, and he was really excited to let me know about this new unveiling, and he wouldn't tell me what it was. I was like, oh, what could it possibly be? And I'm thinking of all these. And so Joe, why don't you kick it off and tell us what we're
a key word that I want to pull from you, what you just said, was inclusivity. This organization is called, probably can't see it from here, but it's called IDEAS, which stands for International Digital Electronic Accordion Society. And this society is all about inclusivity. It's about making certain that, first of all, the one comment I always make is that this is the 21st century. Digital is here to stay in every form, right? And including digital accordions, virtual accordions, etc. They're not going to go away. They're going to increase in their visibility, etc. So what we wanted to do is create an environment for all-inclusive digital accordions to have a forum and a platform with which to speak, communicate, share ideas, knowledge share, and really get deeply into their instruments. But it's not about one manufacturer. Again, since digital is here to stay, the manufacturers may come and go, but there will always be a player on that stage. And so what we're trying to do is make sure people really understand the technology, because not only do you need to understand how to play your instrument from an artistic, technical standpoint, but you need to understand the technology in the instrument, and that's what we're all about.
Huge learning curve.
Yeah, right.
I said that a lot with. I've had a Roland for a little bit. I had a 7, and you know, just like with every technology with this new camera, it's like, you know, you got to figure out how to work the thing the best, and,
right.
And that's a whole nother game.
And I will say that we, you know, our forum is on Facebook, and if you just do a search, and it's also in this pamphlet, but if you just do a search on Great Ideas, that's GR8 space ideas, you will see our Facebook page, and there's already profoundly deep conversations going on out there about all kinds of technical things related to these instruments. So it's a really great place, a really safe place to go out, post questions, reply to other questions, share ideas, and really get into this deeply and quickly.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I was playing the thing yesterday and thinking to myself, I was playing the Evo, and
right.
Like, gosh, I just wish I knew what I was doing so I could figure out how to get the sounds I want to get. And so if you're thinking about that kind of stuff, or if you have a Roland and you're not sure, there's a question that maybe isn't already answered out there, you're saying that this is a great
right.
platform to kind of use your community to answer these things.
Exactly, and we all know that the user manuals for all of these instruments sometimes leave a lot to be desired. They just don't, share the subtleties that really makes your instrument and your performance powerful. And there, you know, sometimes there are things lost in translation because the manuals originally created in other countries. So that's what this forum hopes to alleviate. Again, all inclusivity. Anybody can come in and ask. And we don't just talk about digital accordions. We talk about digital everything. You know, software, driving your iPad so that you can display your music. Peripherals like, you know, different arrangers and different peripherals that you can MIDI things, you know, even cable connectors, all that kind of stuff. Anything related digitally to this instrument, we talk about out there. So.
That sounds like that sounds like the real deal to me, in terms of, you know, getting at the details. You know, that's, I think, the important stuff, because like you're talking about, it's a tool that is extremely dynamic and diverse in its capabilities, and there's just so many little hidden things, you know, that you should know about. And are you guys geographically located, or are you guys online? I mean, I know you're on Facebook, but is it an actual geographically centered organization, or is it?
It's global.
Okay.
So this is an international organization. However, I would like to say that October 23rd through the 28th, we're going to hold our first international digital accordion symposium. Wow. It'll be in Warren, Ohio, and it's going to be at a very beautiful country club. And when you're there, the only thing you see are beautiful landscaping and golf course landscaping. And this country club has everything from indoor tennis to an Olympic-sized swimming pool to an entire floor, multi-million-dollar facility, workout facility. There's recreational centers for the kids. There are spas for either male or female spouses who want to take part in spas and pedicures and manicures. So it's going to be a first-class event, and we've already got our most of our faculty there. We've got all the names that you know already in the digital accordion world are pretty much going to be the faculty. We're going to have non-stop workshops, and these aren't going to be one-hour workshops where it's hard to really gather all the information you need. These are going to be 2, 4, maybe potentially even 8-hour workshops. And it's going to be a full 5 days. There will be performances every day. There'll be concerts. There'll be private lessons. Just everything you can imagine. It'll just be an awesome retreat for anybody who wants to learn this technology.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
And what was the date on that again?
I'm sorry?
The date?
October 23rd through the 28th. At the Avalon Inn in Warren, Ohio, and it's called the Avalon. If you want to search for it, if you don't have this pamphlet, it's search for AvalonInnandResorts.com.
It sounds like a great time. Now I'm thinking about going. You know,
All right.
like maybe the NAAC
You're
should
welcome.
do a little.
You're welcome
like,
to come.
shine a light on another brand new organization. I think would be cool. You know, it's the time.
And I want to congratulate your organization as well. I mean, you as well as other folks are trying to do everything they can to advance the image as well as the visibility of this instrument, and it's never experienced a better time in my lifetime than what's going on right now. So appreciate everything the NAAC is doing, and thank you for this interview as well.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Great talking with you.
Yeah. Likewise.